welcome to Tabletop 24 and welcome to our Airecon 2023 recap. So the focus of this video is going to be on some of the experiences that we had during the weekend for Airecon, follow on from our preview video. So we're recording this a little bit later than we would normally like, mainly because we've been a bit busy since we've been back. All of the footage from Airecon should have now gone up on the channel, so we've caught up with a lot of the exhibitors, we've got some playthroughs through, some a little bit different for us on there, and just sort of a word on our stuff. We tried to do it a little bit differently this year. It didn't quite work as well as we'd hoped, but we still got some good quality content, hopefully, that people have enjoyed. Planning, and we're getting ready for that plan for next year, and obviously improves for when we do UKD.
Which we'll completely disregard as soon as we get there, probably.
More than likely. But obviously, this is going to be focusing on Airecon and our experience. So I think the first thing to sort of say was weather.
Yeah.
It was a bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah. Driving up in sleet and rain and
snow.
But to be fair, there wasn't that much lying when we got there. It started to come down the first evening when we got there. It was coming down quite heavily. And then it was the next day.
Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Saturday, it was kind of just laying everywhere. But by the time we left on Saturday night, there was no snow.
No.
It was dry. It was like there had been no snow. There wasn't little piles of slush or anything. There had been no snow. And then Saturday night, there was more snow when we were leaving the restaurant after eating as well. It was, bizarre weather. Yeah. But, you don't go for the weather, do you?
No. I think, obviously, just a bit on the reason why the weather is quite relevant is the fact that I think it put a few people off.
There was a few
Friday
questions before the event, people saying if I can't get up, what's going to happen to my ticket? And I think Airecon were quite good about, accommodating that kind of thing. But it didn't pose any problem for us, particularly getting there.
No, and we were obviously coming up from the Midlands, so we were 3 hours away. Travelling. And
friends of ours came up from Devon. Hi, Sam. 9-hour drive. They didn't have any problems. So, people came down from Scotland as well. Didn't have any problems. Flew over from Ireland. Didn't have any problems.
Hi, Gav. Hi, Michael.
Yeah. It's
It worked out quite well. I think the people were rightly cautious because it was supposed to be a really heavy snowfall.
It could have got bad, but luckily
it didn't. I think a lot of people were potentially concerned that it was going to be a snow in, and actually, if you'd have walked out Saturday morning, you might have thought there's a chance here. But again, Saturday night it was fine. So, what did that sort of have on tickets and presents? So, obviously, we did put in this in our preview that tickets actually sold out for the Thursday night. Tickets were almost sold out for the Saturday and the Sunday. So it didn't do too much damage to that. I think maybe a few people came up on the Friday opposed to the Thursday, or waited to the weekend instead of the Friday. So I think it had a little bit of an effect there, but
it was still really busy.
Yeah.
It was nice to see. It was pretty packed.
Because of the different layout this year, the Thursday night, it was quite sedate and quite nice. And it was like we, being our way into it, get a table, play some games, see how it goes, see what was in the library. But then sort of Friday it ramped up a little bit, and then Saturday was as busy as it was, if not more so than the year before. It was buzzing, and the thing that I remember the most about, I think, is the noise.
It was really noisy,
and it was a constant thrum of people playing games.
I'd say it was noisy, but I wouldn't say it was overly noisy. No. You could hear yourself think, which I think was
I was probably more attuned to it because I was conscious when we were doing some of the filming. There's a lot of, felt like I was playing noise. Playing the games, it wasn't overly, it wasn't distracting from playing the games.
The exhibitors hall was quite noisy. If anybody's caught any of the footages from our catch-ups, then there is some. It's quite.
It's a glorious noise. It's lovely. The sound of people playing games, conversation, planning, rolling dice. It's a great sound. It's a great sound, especially when you've got that many people playing games.
So let's come back a little bit to the organisation. As we've mentioned, it was a little bit different to last year. We're at the opposite end of Harrogate Convention Centre. People were a little bit anxious what that meant because they were familiar with the setup. We obviously had already planned where we were staking our flag from last year, and then it wasn't in the same place. So
it was somewhere else because there was a better spot.
So pretty much the convention was in a bit of a horseshoe, so it was in a bit of a U with a little bit up at the top. So you had your exhibitors on one side with some of the functional areas, and then on the other side it was all about playing games and sort of open play space with bits dotted around. So, and I think that really worked. It's separated and segregated. Whereas I think one of my main issues with last year was the exhibitors were in between all of the playing space.
Yeah.
So I think it was the Saturday night. I'd gone and parked myself on quite a quiet table in one end of it. I wanted a drink. I've got to carry my drink through the exhibitors hall.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great. It was functional. It worked and it was good. But this year was so much better.
Yeah, it was nice.
I felt that it felt a lot better layout than it was last year. It felt like you could see more people at once. It felt like more of an occasion, more of an environment, a bit more inclusive. Just felt busy and more people there.
Yeah. It felt a lot bigger, and the fact they opened that extra bit of hall on the Saturday as well for more tables. It's like wow, it was wow.
It was nice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Talking to some of the organisers, I think it was Rick over the weekend, about their formula for how they make sure they've got enough space. It was really interesting, and I think that it does them well because we've said this all along. Airecon is the playing convention. It's the convention where you go to play. You're not there to buy. I mean, there was stuff to buy, and we all bought something. But it's not like UKGE where you're going around with carts to buy stuff, or S and that type of thing. It's more focused on that sort of playing and the community. Community is a big one. This one.
Yeah.
People that haven't sort of caught up regularly, that only meet at conventions. I think this one's really important in the calendar for those type of people. Picking that up.
Good for families as well. I've said it before. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think its inclusivity to families is so good. I think we saw a lot on the Facebook group where people were going, "This is my first time attending. I'm bringing X and Y year old. What do people think?" And it's so inclusive. It's not even just because they have the Imagination Gaming Zone where it's focused at kids, but actually the environment is friendly.
Yeah.
Whereas I would potentially say somewhere like UKGE, it's quite bustly. Even at the gaming tables, it's quite bustly. So, with being with a family at UKGE compared to here at Airecon, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I'd agree. It didn't feel like everybody was crammed in. It didn't feel there was space for people to get the games out, and the large games had space to get out. That UKGE is, the distance between the stalls isn't very much, and it does feel you do find the pinch points, and there wasn't anything like that at the con at all. But the organisation, all the volunteers, all the help, everybody from the moment it opened to the moment it shut were fantastic. Felt for the people running to bring and buy on the Thursday morning when there were 6 foot tall stacks of games coming in to be checked in and stuff, and then people were having to queue out. Yeah, people queue out the door and then queue out the door again.
That was our one bit of feedback of negativity on the organisation, was the drop off of the Bring and Buy on the Thursday. Now, after the Thursday, it was absolutely fine because you were in the main hall, but on the Thursday, it was designed that it was kind of close to the opening. I think it just didn't quite work for the volume of people coming through. And then we had the weather coming in as well at the same time. So I think that may be a little bit of food for thought for next year. But the Bring and Buy obviously took everything in. We've got our stickers for it. I still think it's one of the best Bring and Buys I've ever been to.
But all of them, all of their volunteers who manage the library, the Bring and Buy, the front doors, the tickets, the helpers that helped out, guiding people, they're all absolutely brilliant. Always there for a chat, help, pointers and things like that. Absolutely top notch.
Yes, there's some great people that do volunteer for the convention. I think again, it comes back to the community. These are people that are in the community. They're not necessarily hired event staff. These are people that are volunteering their time to help out.
And it's nice because I saw people volunteering for this year who volunteered the year before as well. So it's always nice to see that, it's always good.
And even on some of the exhibitor stalls, they're obviously the volunteers that have been around the community for a while. Again, it's very rare in this space that you've got people that are sort of bread and butter paid by the exhibitors or by the event staff to be doing it. So it's really great from that community. So you mentioned the library, so we'll pick up on the library. It's the library that's run by Travelling Man. There's a £10 deposit which is refundable at the end of it, so it doesn't actually cost you anything.
No.
I think the selection of games is fantastic.
I've still got my library card from 2022. I found it in my wallet today. Literally, it's going from wallet, but my library card from 2022.
I think the library is really good. I think it was well organised again this year. Well run, well stocked. I think we'll get under shout out on a couple of games there, but a little bit later. But the two obviously that we know that were put in there, and it was mentioned in our preview video and our chat with Mark, where it's his copy of Comic Hunters and his copy of Heat that went in the library.
Yeah.
And I think, we'll come on to particularly Comic Hunters a little bit later, but I think the library was run really well. There was a good selection. I think there's something for everybody. Yes, some of the hotter games are out a little bit longer than others, and you did potluck. But there was a trick that I found out, and I didn't know about it until I spoke to Rick, one of the main organisers, that actually you can see, put yourself on for a notification on the game system when a game gets put back into the library. So
didn't know
so we didn't know that at the time. So there's something to be aware of there. Mentioned the Bring and Buy. Bring and Buy was run really well. I managed to get rid of most of my stuff that we did on the Cull video. I think John was shocked when I took them, B, I sold them.
Yeah. I didn't take anything this year because I'd sold all mine in the previous year. So there's a few games I maybe toy with for going next year. But, I didn't even have a look around it this year. I didn't even go because...
But you don't need to. So the game system lists all the stuff that's in there. So if you're looking for something specific, you can go, right, it is there, it is that price, and you know if you're going to want to queue up for it.
The kind of the games that I'd be looking for, everybody else would be looking for, and if there was a copy in there, there'd be a bun fight to try and get it. So.
We picked up loads of, me and my wife picked up loads of games from in there. Just like, that looks good. Never heard of it before. Give it a go. When you pay £15 for it,
go back next year.
Yeah. So it's great. So I've got a stack of games ready to get through. Yeah.
It's almost a games library in itself.
Yeah. The one positive that I had from this year was I sold, I think, something like 27 games, and I bought 4, and I was quite selective on the 4 that I bought. I think you went a bit different.
I did the other way around, yeah. I've certainly left with more than I bought. Yeah.
So that was the Bring and Buy. Again, really well organised. We've said this a few times. A lot of Bring and Buys can be just like a jumble sale. This one is very much not like that. There is a little bit of elements in there when you get in the Bring and Buy, but you've got the game system that's well organised. You've got everything else that's sort of...
The game system makes the difference, really. That being able to check out what games are there, or make sure you check your games are selling, so you don't have to keep going back in and checking.
Yeah, you can see straight away how
it's a great system.
Sold,
Yes. Why other places don't use it, or if they don't, they should do UKGE.
So one of the other things that the game system does is it allows you to arrange games with people as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got a specific game that you want to host, or a specific game you want to join,
specific.
Always taking the mic. There's if you've got a specific game that you are after looking at getting to the table or want to take, then you can arrange from there. But also you had some good fun with the players wanted signs.
Yeah.
Which were in fact
lightsabers.
Turn one.
Yeah, great system. Stick it on the table if you want to play a game. Get people come and join you. So through the weekend, there was a lot of people playing Heat, a lot of people playing Clan Catacombs. Various games, hotness, different things. I didn't see another copy of Wandering Towers all weekend. So the Sunday morning, I sat on the table with a lightsaber lit and played. I think I played 6 or 7 games with anybody who wanted to come. People were ordering it as they were playing it because they liked so much. So shout out to, going to read it off the screen here, Gav, Michael, Benji, Rianne, Sylvia, Lauren, Laura and Gareth for playing. Thank you.
We know at least 2 of them have bought a copy. And not that this video was sponsored by Meeple's Corner, but Sam being a local to Meeple's Corner and us knowing Christoph as well, I think we directed people in those directions for the sales.
That experience alone was worth it. Just meeting different people, finding out their stories, what they've been doing for the weekend, what they're playing, that's what it's about. Again, it's that community and growing that community. And I dare say we will see Gav, Michael, and probably Gareth in UKJ and say hello and maybe play some more games. So that, for me, that's a winner.
Yeah, he's really good, and obviously I know you love that game to bits. So it's absolutely good to see people doing that, and people hadn't seen it before because obviously it's the German edition. So they've only just announced the English print. So
what's that?
Yeah,
like, do you want to play? How's it? 40 minutes, half. And they're like, okay, and let's have another game. Let's have another. Yeah,
very, very quick night on that.
Yeah, great game.
So then, obviously, probably the game of the convention. Everywhere you looked was a copy of Heat for those that could get it, and if it wasn't a copy that everybody could get, it was a copy that everybody wanted. So everybody's piling for that game of Heat. We were lucky enough. So again, thank you to Sam, because Sam managed to borrow a copy to bring up with him until one of us gets our own copy. So we got that to the table, which was quite good. we were hoping to do a would play again whilst we were there, but I think we just wanted to enjoy the gameplay. And
Cut the chase, worth the hype.
Flamme Rouge with knobs on.
yeah,
I would say.
I think cutting a bit short now. I want to play it a couple more times and play with the modules and everything like that. But I think Flamme Rouge does it better for me at this specific point after one play. So yes, it was 2 plays. Two plays. After 2 plays, I think Flamme Rouge does it better for me because maybe one of those was because I got absolutely trounced just on my draw in one game.
Yeah.
But I made it back almost. But I mean, when I say mate, I was half a lap behind everybody else, and I nearly made it back.
It can be very damaging like that with the draw of your cards. But if you've got, we're going to do a would play again, so spoilers. But if you've got Flamme Rouge, I don't know if you'd buy Heat because they do the same thing. Yeah. The gear changing and it just kicks up a little notch for me. But I want to play with the modules and stuff and see how that changes it as well.
Exactly. I think that's why we didn't do it, was because we really wanted to get all the modules to the table.
Yeah, they played this before I turned up, so I didn't get a chance to play it.
Yeah, so we kind of had you around that one.
There were people playing. There's a
Nuremberg.
The Nuremberg.
I was definitely jealous of that.
Yeah, that looked. Yeah. I think you'd only want to do one lap of that though.
I think they did only do one lap of it. But, so it was on a sort of like a 4x4 map, which was great. I think it was great. So, Brian, you got Encyclopedia to the table?
Yeah. So Sam brought that up, and we got Team B who joined us to play that. That was a really good game. Quite enjoyed that. So I'd like to see that again. Yeah. And yeah, just again meeting new people. Just met with being online later the game, and he turned up, and he's a great guy. So yeah.
And then I think final word on games we got to the table, and I won't read one word. I can tell you that for nothing. Was Comic Hunters.
Yeah.
Even though we were playing it wrong, as we've later found out, and you'll see that in our sort of playthrough video that we've done. There's a comment down there that points out. So, Comic Hunters is a drafting game with the Marvel license that's come from Brazil, hence why the rulebook's in Portuguese. So there's a little bit of an issue.
That's why we're playing it wrong.
Yeah,
because we don't speak Portuguese. Obrigado.
But it was one line out of the whole book that I think we got wrong. So, but it would have made a fundamental difference to the scoring, not to the gameplay.
I wouldn't have lost then.
But we picked. I don't know how, but we just picked it up on. I just grabbed it on the Thursday.
We were like, "Oh, let's have a quick look at the libraries walking past," and you went Comic Hunters, and it was literally like that, and it was like, right, we've got to get this to the table. And so glad you snaffled that, because what a game that is.
Yeah.
What a game that is.
And I think a lot of people put it back because the rulebook's in Portuguese. There is an English rulebook online.
So much so I was trying to sell it to everybody while we were there. Play that. You want a game? Comic Hunters. Comic Hunters. Comic Hunters.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of unsung in that sense because it's in Portuguese. It's not in a UK or English distribution yet. There's a lot of rumours about who may or may not pick it up, whether they'll get the Marvel license or they won't, or you have to go to another IP.
It could be any IP really, but the fact that it is the Marvel comics, it sings at that with that golden age, silver age and modern comic covers. It just sings. It's just a lovely thing to look at and play.
So much so that Sam got his copy imported.
Yeah.
Great.
Megan might be watching.
He got it imported. You didn't say how much for.
Yeah. But he sold a lot of games at the Bring and Buy as well. I think he used that money to buy the game.
Yes, the import comment. Yeah, the import comment. The import comment copy. There we go. Wasn't exactly a small price. I think realistically we may be looking at a £35 to £45 game. Yeah. We won't go into how much they are online for. You can check that out for yourself. But I think for us it was worth it because of the IP that was attached to it. The artwork is the original comic book covers. So I think for us that was very much worthwhile playing. It was a good laugh. And it's also quite light. I think we got the play down to 40 odd minutes. And I think you can get it down to 30.
It's got everything. There's player interaction. There's interest in the cards. There's a little bit of a bidding mechanic in there. The way that the tableau chat and you picking the cards, it just works and sings.
Yeah. So thanks to Airecon for
So thanks to Mark for obviously getting that game through there as well. So I know it's his copy. I know that's gone into the Travelling Man library, but so that's there. obviously, it would be a bit more sort of sensitive for a short time. One of the things that Airecon does very well is raise a lot of money for charity. He does a lot of work with some of the charities that are nominated. I believe this year we've got WWF and Man Up. So those are the two that were picked. Then we went along to charity raffle. Getting back to the silly bit, massive raffle, 6 tables with a whole table of games.
Mm-hmm.
Your ticket comes out, and if your ticket comes out, you win that whole table of games. Very well done, really well supported by a lot of publishers, a lot of companies, a lot of the exhibitors that were there at the show as well. So a great thing. I think they raised just shy of £6,000 on that, and that only goes on sale for 1.5 hours before the actual draw. So
tables full of games to win. I
like the idea that you can look at the table and say, I like those games and those games, but those games are really what I want. I'll put my ticket in that box there.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to chart. You're not going to absolutely win that table. You're only going to win that table.
Yeah.
So you can pick what you like.
Yeah, you're only essentially it's 6 raffles. It's not one raffle for 6 tables. It's 6 raffles. But the games are sort of spread out, so you don't get all the heavyweight euros on one.
It's a mix of
There's a bit of a mix, so you can do it. So that's always well done. I think
next year.
The one that I've not put on the list here, but it was something that we absolutely loved, and obviously again another shout out to Gavin Michael on this one, was the pub quiz.
Yeah,
pub quiz was amazing. It
started off so well. We started off really well.
I think we were like first or second. Well, not. I think it was second or third in the first round, and then he just went downhill from there.
Lost it. But I liked the fact that it was so varied and so much going on. There's a game element to all of it, obviously, board game sort of theme. But they've got a lot of effort to make it, quite broad within that.
Yeah, Mark does a really good job on that quiz. We were gutted we missed it last year. So glad we did miss it this year, to the point where I don't think we will miss it again.
We won't miss it again.
I think it was a real good laugh. So obviously we said to Gavin Michael they let us join their table because the seating was a bit of a premium. And we all had a good laugh there.
They couldn't get rid of us for the rest of the weekend.
The rest of the weekend, bless them.
Solid guys, thank you.
Pub quiz was great. I think Mark made not many friends with his Azul question. So for people in the comments, how many tiles are there in a copy of Azul? And then we'll leave that one to you guys. But I think you made a few enemies with that. And
the AI generated images were good and interesting.
Yeah,
how that is quadrupolis, I've got no idea. It's just not.
Yeah,
but it was a cracking quiz. It really was. Yeah.
So onto the exhibitors hall. Obviously, we spoke with a lot of exhibitors over the weekend, some of which you've seen on the channel already. But obviously, 2 apologies first off. Firstly, to Bez, who some of the footage got cut short because of a technical issue, and due to another technical issue, the team at Paperwork Games, we missed their footage completely. But we're going to pop down a bit of footage over the top of this at the moment, and they've got to really enhance their prototype, and we're hoping to be doing some work with them further down the line with that when that really come to Kickstarter. So that's Cloud Foxes. So check that out. I'll pop that one in the links below. But all the exhibitors were having a good time.
Yeah,
they're having a thing. I think they almost see this as a home away from home. It's not as rammed as it normally is with all the bigger conventions. And I say bigger conventions, Airecon's a fair size, but it's a little bit more casual. There's a little bit more time for talking.
There's enough exhibitors. I wouldn't want it to grow any bigger. I wouldn't want to take over one of the other halls. I think it's just right because it's like I said at the top of the show, the convention's about the playing, not about the selling. So for me, it would be
it's a nice balance.
Yeah.
I think for that reason, you were saying it before we started. I think it's rapidly becoming, if not already, our favourite convention in the calendar year. I think, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, UKG go because it's you have.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's the UK. It is the UK show. There is no denying that. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's a really good show and we enjoy it, and it's where we've all started our convention scene in the board gaming hobby. But Airecon is very much getting to be that one where, do you know what? If I had to choose, we would probably choose that. And I think that's more for us because we're so much more about the community and we want to engage with the community. So on a point like that, we were a little bit flabbergasted with a few people that come up and said, we've seen your preview, we've seen some of this stuff on it. And,
within 2 minutes of walking in, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but you said, we were watching your preview video like last night or this morning. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And literally, you just walked into the place, and it's just like, so, you know, I know we do this and we laugh, and you know, it's a bit of fun, but people do watch, and thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Genuinely, thank you for watching. Yeah. Say hello, you know, but yeah. Pretty.
It's come over all funny.
Yeah, no,
we did love it. So
yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice to be recognised, and nice that people watching it, and the feedback from people. You know, it's a really good, you know, preview. So, you know, that's why we do it.
Yeah,
that's what it's
one of the big things that will never change with us is we do the convention catch-ups, and we do that because we want to bring that to people that either haven't been able to make it to the convention, or bring it to people that did get to the convention and missed it, or missed the perspective of it, and also sometimes get a little bit of behind the scenes because we've been able to get the time with some of those publishers that you might not have gotten, and potentially with some of the people in that publishing group that might be able to give a bit more information away. So I know obviously a big shout out to Toby from Oink Games, because we do have a bit of a good conversation with him there as well. So who's one of the major sponsors of Airecon this year. So yeah, I think all in all, cracking convention, like we say, rapidly becoming one of our favourite ones. We haven't obviously mentioned this as well. So a big shout out to Port Patriot Games. So we ordered one of these to be picked up, and I think it's fantastic.
Doesn't smell of orange though.
No, disappointingly. So next year.
Yeah, so
next year.
14th to 17th of March.
Yeah.
The next convention's booked in already.
We were discussing this sort of like on the way home and like towards the end of the weekend, and it's not a question of if we go, it's how we go and how many people go, because it's only ever going to grow from our point of view. Because I think my kids will be at school, but my wife may come up for the Saturday and maybe the Sunday. And Rianne's a teacher, so she can't, you know. But there'll be more people going up, and you know, there was people from friendly local game stores in Northampton that we know going up there. Terence taking sneaky pictures of Terence in the queue.
Yeah.
So you know, it's only going to get bigger from our point of view, and only more of us are going to go. So we go. I'm going to go.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So hopefully see you there next year. Obviously, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Tell your friends.
So obviously we get those notifications that come through that tell us that you like what we're doing. Comment down below on anything that you would like to see in the future, whether some of the format of what we've done works for you, what you like, what you dislike, and we will catch you again next time. Take care.
Bye.